All right, Nick, let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. There's been a lot of exciting news around Chargers country. Obviously, your superstar safety, Derwin James, has been signed to a new record setting contract. Well deserved, although he's battled through some injuries. He's been an all pro anytime he's been on the field, a complete game changer. I definitely know the effects of having Derwin James on the field. It's quite frustrating to say the least when you have to face him as an opponent. But nonetheless, Nick, we're going to get into a very interesting story about why Derwin James is such a good player and deserving of this contract. But before we get there, Chargers fans, let us know. You've had a long, illustrious history. A lot of interesting players have come through the San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers. Let us know in the comments below. Who's been your favorite Charger to watch growing up? There's a lot of different time periods of the Chargers, and there's a lot of different players to choose. But growing up, who was the Chargers player that you like the most? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, let's get into our story.
Yeah, so I was always a big fan of Lorenzo Neal, the old fullback for the Chargers back in the day. I think he cleared a lot of LT's runs. So I really liked Neal growing up. But to the story, to some specifics, you brought it up. Derwin James signs a massive deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. This is according to the score.com. The Los Angeles Chargers and star safety Derwin James agreed to a record 4-year extension worth $76.4 million. The reported deal will make James the highest paid safety in NFL with an annual average salary of $19.13 million.
Mm.
He will also receive $42 million guaranteed and $29 million in the first year of his contract, both records at his position. James was set to earn only $9 million in the final year of his rookie deal. Prior to this contract, Pittsburgh Steelers safety Minka Fitzpatrick had the highest safety market with a salary of $18.25 million. All right, man. So this is obviously a big deal in terms both literally and figuratively here. But I really like what the Chargers have done. Obviously, Derwin James is a great player. He's certainly the counterweight. You brought it up to guys like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, his ability to do so many different things. But it's very clear right now that the Chargers strategy, and it's the right one, is to go big in free agency, whether it's re-signing their own guys or signing and bringing guys in, obviously. Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson from the Patriots, and of course a number of other guys, Sebastian Joseph Day from the Rams, to go in and really bolster that roster around Justin Herbert. Because right now, Justin Herbert is cheap. And I'm going to go into a little bit of what the Chargers are doing here. So when I looked about what the Chargers and just kind of what jumped to my mind is I've been watching the History Channel a little bit and everything that's going on in the world. And I was learning a lot about the Cold War that was going on between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. And bear with me here for a minute. So this lasted for like 4 decades, right, between the U.S. and Soviet Union. And America basically won because in the early 1980s, they just decided, hey, we've got a great economy. We'll just literally build up all our arms, like get in a major arms race and bury the Soviet Union because they don't have the economy to catch up. They basically did that. The Soviet Union tried to keep up, and the Soviet Union then collapsed. That's exactly what the Chargers are doing here in that division because the Herbert is cheaper, right? Herbert's a star and cheap. Compare that to Russell Wilson, who's expensive. Derek Carr signed a big deal. He's expensive. Pat Mahomes, obviously expensive. The Chargers have the money, the economy to go out and bring in all these players and re-sign their star players, win the arms race that the other teams in the division and frankly the AFC can't compete with. Any team that tries to go toe to toe with the Chargers over the next few years, spending wise, they're going to lose. So I really love what the Chargers are doing here because it's, we talk about all the time how the AFC and really the AFC West is an arms race. Well, the Chargers are literally following the playbook to win arm races, and that's exactly what this Derwin James signing is here. What do you think of all this, and especially my Cold War reference? How many times is that brought up in an NFL show?
Well, Nick, I think what you're saying is obviously Kansas City is Russia. Denver would be China, and then maybe another
Vegas is
communist threat.
North Korea, right?
Yeah,
Vegas is
Vegas,
North Korea.
North Korea. So that
I
makes
think
perfect sense to me. I think it's really interesting because as the Chargers, you're at an advantage of being the last team with a quarterback on a rookie deal. So
yeah.
that's seems to be one of the strategies. So there's 2 strategies, or 3 rather, that I see is building around a young rookie or doing what the Rams did and going all in. And the Chargers seem to have combined both of those strategies. They're going all in all around the rookie, but also kind of planning for the future a little bit with the rookie as well. And Justin Herbert, who's a phenomenal quarterback, really, really talented passer of the football. But a guy like Derwin James, we're talking about here, if Herbert is the general, the leader. Derwin James is most definitely like a nuclear missile. So they're arming their team to the nines. You got to have guys like Derwin James who are game breaker. He can cover. He has an excellent coverage grade per PFF. Last year he had like a 76.6, almost 77 coverage grade. Really, really good. You know, he had a great run defense grade. He had a 76.5 run defense grade, and he had an 86.2 pass rush grade. He can pass rush, he can defend the run, and he can go into coverage. He's truly, truly a player you can put anywhere on the field, and when healthy, he is an elite player in every single one of those positions. And he's so frustrating to deal with. You can't ever game plan for a guy like that. So I don't think he's ever had the weapons around him like a Khalil Mack, like a J.C. Jackson, to help Derwin James be able to do whatever he wanted to do. He was kind of like the one-man show out there for a little bit. You know, he had the Bosa. He's had a couple other guys. But now there's a real team on the other side, the defensive side of the ball, the Chargers have established. And I think this is a year all of the weight won't be on James's shoulders to make the big plays, and he can go out there and really shine. You know, he's going to get spelled by some of these other guys. Khalil Mack's going to be breaking through the backfield. J.C. Jackson is going to be ball hawking like he normally does. You know, Joey Bosa is going to have a little bit of weight lifted off of his shoulders. He's going to be pass rushing because they're going to be focused on Khalil Mack a little bit. It's really set up to be a key defensive battle in LA for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I love you brought up how the fact that Derwin James does so much and lines up everywhere. You brought up him as a nuclear missile. You know, I'm going to bring a little San Diego reference in here. I'm going to do a double analogy. I think he's a Navy SEAL, right? Because he's able to do everything, cover everything. He's the guy you bring in when there's a problem. Lamar Jackson tearing up the NFL, you bring in Derwin James. And that's the exact role he has in the Chargers defense. And you brought up a great point with that team around him. He's going to be even more unleashed this season. And the Charger fans, you've got to be excited now that you've got Derwin James locked up and this is behind you and you're full speed ahead into 2022.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.